There's a thread that runs through the best record ever made. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the sound of someone who refused to quit when the door was locked. 18 stories, 18 times the industry said no, and 18 times someone answered back. A man in Memphis recording at 4 a.m. with a throat infection. A woman at a hospital orderly's wage. Moonlighting in clubs. A group of kids in a flat eating stolen potatoes. This is what breaking through actually sounds like. Number 18 brings us to Elvis Presley and Suspicious Minds in 1969. Between 1961 and 1968, Elvis was locked into a film contract that killed him. 29 movies. He recorded Do the Clam and Old MacDonald. The industry mocked him as a relic. His chart position dropped. His relevance was gone. Then on January 22nd, 1969, he walked into American Sound Studio in Memphis. Producer Chip's moment was there. Elvis did 80 takes. His throat was infected. It was 4 a.m. Every failed take meant he was finished. One more flop and the has-been label stuck forever. The song hit number 1. It became his most played track in the modern era. But the victory carried a scar. The Fade and Return edit. That sonic glitch remains a reminder of how close he came to permanent erasure. In 1954, the Chordettes occupied position 17 with Mr. Sandman. They had waited 6 years without a single chart hit. The Arthur Godfrey Show paid them $500 a week. They were background singers. Don't have nobody to call my own. Window dressing. The label nearly disbanded them from the weight of invisibility. Then Archie Blyer made a gamble. He added a knee slap percussion track. He layered an electronic echo on the yes vocal response. Mr. Sandman, bring me the singers feared it was too strange, too creepy. Their conservative audience might reject them. Mr. Sandman. Yeah. The track stayed at number 1 for 7 weeks, but the victory was shadowed. Give him the word that I'm not a robot. Dorothy Schwartz, a founding member, was replaced just before the hit. That turnover scar echoes today in every girl group navigating sudden fame. At position 16, the Beatles arrived with She Loves You in 1963. Between 1960 and 1962, they played Hamburg's red light district for less than £3 a day. And you know that can't be bad. 8-hour sets in the Indra Club. The venue smelled like sewage and stale beer. She loves you, and you know you should be glad. They took preludin pills to stay awake. Over 800 hours of stage time. Physical exhaustion that broke their bodies. Then on July 1st, 1963, they recorded at EMI Studio 2 for 7 hours. John and Paul pushed a third-person lyrical perspective, a 6-chord harmony. George Martin called it crap. You know, you're not Paul's voice was shredding from the strain. They defended the idea anyway. The song sold 1.9 million copies in the UK. Up to you, I think it's only fair. It was the first single to sell 1 million in Britain. But Lennon's real scar was the 1962 Decca rejection. The label told them guitar groups were finished. That wound never fully healed. It breaks my heart a little. Only 1% of people tuning into Retro Waves FM are subscribed. The rest of you return for the nostalgia, drifting in the memories of a better time, but you still won't commit. Think about it. You spent time here feeling young again, yet you leave before the magic settles. Subscribing is free, zero cost, but it means you'll never lose the signal to your past. This channel is your time machine. Keep it running. Be the 1% who honors the memory. The Rolling Stones owned position 15 with I Can't Get No Satisfaction in 1965. Between 1962 and 1963, they lived in a Chelsea flat at 102 Edith Grove. £20 a week. They ate stolen potatoes. Dick Rowe at Decca rejected them. Their manager forced them to abandon blues purity for pop material they hated. Then at 2 a.m. on May 7, 1965, Keith Richards woke in a Florida motel room with a 3-note riff in his head. He recorded it on a cassette and fell asleep. Days later at RCA Studios, he staked everything on the Gibson Maestro fuzz tone pedal. He meant it as a brass placeholder. It became the sound that changed rock. The song hit #1 for 4 weeks, but Richards carries the scar of his own snoring on that motel tape. That exhaustion is permanent. That ghost is still there. Position 14 belonged to Chubby Checker with The Twist in 1960. Ernest Evans endured 18 months as a mimic for Cameo Parkway. A class clown, $125 a week, the industry forced him into novelty impressions that stripped away his voice. He was invisible. Then on July 9th, 1960, Bernie Lowe risked the label's money on a note-for-note cover of a Hank Ballard B-side. So we tear the house down. Come on and twist. Evans had to adopt the Chubby Checker name. This was his final chance. No poultry market. No failure. The song hit #1 in 1960 and again in 1962, the only recording to ever achieve that non-consecutive feat. That double crown stands as a rebuke to racial segregation. Today, every viral dance trend that bypasses gatekeepers carries that same defiant DNA. At position 13, Aretha Franklin claimed Respect in 1967. Between 1960 and 1966, Columbia Records released 9 albums that never cracked the top 50. She was forced into a supper club jazz mode. Her gospel power was suppressed. She owed the label $20,000. She was trapped in debt. Then on February 14th, 1967, Jerry Wexler bet Atlantic's reputation on a frantic session. Aretha seized control. She rearranged Otis Redding's composition. She spelled out RESPECT, a desperate claim on her own agency. The song hit #1. She won 18 Grammy Awards. She became the first woman in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But the Columbia years left a scar. She demanded $25,000 in cash before every performance. That was her insurance. She would never be devalued again. The Mamas and the Papas held position 12 with California Dreamin' in December 1965. John Phillips spent 3 years in failed folk groups, the Smoothies, the Journeymen, the New Journeymen. Zero royalties. He survived on potato soup. Greenwich Village dismissed him as too intellectual. He knows I'm gonna stay. Tupac, commercial heresy. Then on October 1st, 1965, Lou Adler bet the group's final $100 on a session. P.F. Sloan improvised an alto flute solo over a rejected Barry McGuire backing track. Michelle Phillips feared eviction from their shared $150 a month apartment. The track hit gold within 11 weeks. But the victory was shadowed by John Phillips' rigid 12-hour rehearsals. That control fractured the group's trust permanently. Yet the sound survived. In 2021, the Library of Congress inducted it into the National Recording Registry. Desperation forged something that lasted. Position 11 brought Otis Redding to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay in 1968. Between 1958 and 1960, he worked as a gopher and driver for Johnny Jenkins. Zero net gain. The industry said his natural baritone was too gravelly, too deep. He mimicked Little Richard's high tenor instead. His own voice was commercially unviable. Then on December 7, 1967, Steve Cropper and the label executives protested. Redding ignored them. He recorded a folk-influenced track, Stripped Back, whistling lead. He was recovering from throat surgery. His career hung by a thread. He risked his reputation anyway. The song posthumously hit #1 on March 16, 1968. But Redding's real victory was the refusal to be a hit machine. That autonomy echoes today in artists like Leon Bridges, who chase that same unpolished 60s resonance. The Beach Boys occupied position 10 with Surfin' USA in 1963. Between late 1961 and early 1962, they faced a $300 debt for their first professional session. We'll all be gone for the summer. We're on safari to stay. Hype Morgan's Guild music label collapsed. Murray Wilson's management was aggressive and domineering. Dot Records dismissed them as a local novelty act. They were teenagers with nothing. Then on February 12, 1963, Brian Wilson made an unauthorized move. He adapted Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16 melody. A plagiarism lawsuit was possible. A career-ending risk. We'll all be gone for the summer. We're on safari to stay. But he proved they could evolve beyond surf rock into sophisticated pop. The song achieved gold status. The album charted for 78 weeks. Brian Wilson became a self-taught producer prodigy. Modern artists like Fleet Foxes still replicate that vocal layering to capture that hard-won California sound. At position 9, Marvin Gaye delivered I Heard It Through the Grapevine in 1968. Between 1961 and 1964, he was forced to record 3 failed albums as a Nat King Cole clone. Creative erasure, $9,000 in debt to Motown. He wore a tuxedo he despised. He toured the segregated Chitlin circuit in cramped station wagons. His natural voice was locked away. Then on April 10th, 1967, Norman Whitfield defied Berry Gordy's direct rejection. Whitfield pushed Gaye to a strained, rasping high B flat. An octave above his comfort zone. A total vocal blowout was possible, but that raw paranoia was the sound they needed. The song spent 7 consecutive weeks at number 1. It shattered Motown's internal sales records. Gaye's refusal to remain a puppet was vindicated. That vocal grit still resonates in modern soul artists who prioritize truth over technical perfection. Position 8 belonged to the Supremes with Where Did Our Love Go in 1964. Between 1961 and 1964, they endured 8 consecutive non-charting singles. The label called them the No-Hit Supremes. Where did our love go? Ooh, don't you? $5 a week allowance. They were forced to record a breathtaking guy, a style that stripped them of their sophisticated identity. Then on April 8, 1964, at Hitsville, USA Studio A, they reluctantly recorded the track after the Marvelettes rejected it. Don't you want me no more? Ooh, Diana Ross was forced to sing lower than her instincts, a creative gamble. Her vocal frustration transformed into that specific detached longing that defined the Motown sound. Where did our love go? And all your... The song hit number 1 for 2 weeks. It initiated a run of 5 consecutive chart toppers. That streak ended the poverty of the Brewster Projects. That resilience became the gold standard for girl group dominance. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons held position 7 with Sherry in 1962. Between 1953 and 1962, Valli recorded under 18 different aliases across dozens of failed singles. A decade of financial collapse. He performed in bowling alleys and lounge bars. He worked as a barber to survive the humiliation of being a local failure. Then on a hot afternoon in 1962 at Allegro Studios, Bob Krug gambled his reputation. He allocated $5,000 to record Sherry in just 15 minutes. Krug had previously deemed Valli's glass-shattering falsetto too weird for radio. But this was the last stand. The song commanded number 1 for 5 consecutive weeks. That triumph was sharpened by the memory of the Four Lovers era when every major label rejected them. Today, 175 million records sold, and the 2005 Broadway debut of Jersey Boys immortalized their refusal to abandon street corner origins. At position 6, Percy Sledge claimed When a Man Loves a Woman in 1966. I know exactly how it feels. Between 1960 and 1965, he worked as a $1.25 an hour orderly at Colbert County Hospital. He moonlighted on the Chitlin circuit with the Esquires combo, Social Invisibility. He was forced to perform upbeat James Brown covers that stifled his natural, sorrowful gospel register. Then on February 17, 1966, at Narala Sound Studio in Sheffield, Alabama, Quinn Ives took a financial gamble on a crude melody originally titled Why Can't I Be Happy? Sledge was captured in raw emotional exhaustion. He improvised the final lyrics under the terror that this single 4-hour session was his only escape from the hospital wards. The recording became the first gold record out of Muscle Shoals. It was the first Southern Soul track to hit number 1. Sledge carried the scar of gifting songwriting credits to bandmates out of loyalty. That gesture of resilience echoes today as the definitive global standard for deep soul vulnerability. The Doors occupied position 5 with Light My Fire in 1967. Between 1965 and 1966, they endured 12 months of near total obscurity after Columbia Records dropped them without recording a single track. A $5 a night residency at the London Fog. Morrison sang with his back to empty rooms to mask paralyzing stage fright. Then on August 29, 1966, Jack Holtzman of Elektra Records risked $5,000 on a signing bonus. He saw the band's final desperate set at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Morrison had just been fired from the venue for the controversial The End performance. And you hesitated through. The emotional volatility fueled the session. The single achieved RIAA gold status on September 11, 1967. But the scar remains the 1967 Ed Sullivan incident. The band defied a direct censorship order regarding the word higher. That refusal to compromise still dictates the no-sellout ethos of modern alternative rock. Position 4 brought Del Shannon to Runaway in 1961. Charles Westover endured a 3-year stint at the High-Low Club in Battle Creek, Michigan. $59 a week, he performed under the pseudonym Charlie Johnson to appease a local following that demanded country covers over his original rock compositions. Social Friction, Performative Invisibility. Then on January 24, 1961, at Bell Sound Studios in New York, the gamble hinged on Max Crook's Musitron. A heavily modified, temperamental 3-tube monophonic synthesizer. Shannon insisted on featuring it despite the technical risk of pitch instability. That haunting alien bridge transformed a standard minor key lament into a #1 hit. Runaway became the first of his 15 Hot 100 hits. But the victory was shadowed by a lifelong battle with clinical depression and the industry's shift toward the British invasion. Today, the song's resilience echoes in the DNA of synth pop. The 1961 Musitron solo is the direct ancestor to the electronic textures of modern artists like Tame Impala. At position 3, Ray Charles delivered I Can't Stop Loving You in 1962. Between 1947 and 1952, he endured 5 years of financial insolvency and creative suppression. He recorded imitative Nat King Cole style tracks for Swing Time Records, a $400 a week heroin addiction. Segregated Chitlin Circuit venues that paid less than gas costs. His own voice was buried. Then on February 15, 1962, at United Western Recorders, Charles risked his hard-won creative autonomy and a $65,000 production budget. He recorded a country ballad. ABC Paramount executives panicked. They feared he would alienate his entire R&B fan base. They feared he would destroy his career. He ignored them. The track achieved RIAA gold status within months. It remained #1 for 5 weeks. That triumph was sharpened by the memory of being barred from George's Bell Auditorium in 1961. That defiance echoes today in the genre-blurring independence of artists like Beyonce and Lil Nas X. The Shirelles held position 2 with Will You Love Me Tomorrow in 1961. Between 1958 and 1960, they endured a 24-month drought of chart relevance following their debut. $50 a night gigs. Tiara Records forced them to record stiff pop standard covers that suppressed their natural New Jersey R&B vocal textures. Then during the autumn 1960 session at 1650 Broadway, lead singer Shirley Alston initially rejected the song as too country. Luther Dixon committed to a lavish $5,000 string arrangement. Scepter Records risked their entire remaining capital on a single gamble. Alston relented. The track became the first #1 hit by a black girl group on the Billboard Hot 100 on January 30th, 1961. That victory was defined by the memory of a 1957 high school talent show, Rejection. That scar of local invisibility was finally erased when the song entered the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1999. Position 1 belongs to the Angels with My Boyfriend's Back in 1963. Between 1960 and 1962, they endured 24 months of failed singles and label rejections. They were forced into a polite pop aesthetic that stifled their natural New Jersey grit. $5 a day per diems, local dives where they were dismissed as replaceable girl group commodity. Then on March 30, 1963, at Mira Sound Studios, they gambled their career on a demo for Feldman, Goldstein, and Gotterer. They abandoned restraint. They recorded My Boyfriend's Back in a single aggressive take. The emotional stakes were absolute. A tough girl persona risked permanent industry blacklisting. Many executives considered it too abrasive for radio. The track hit number 1 on August 31st, 1963. Over 1 million copies sold. A legacy of female defiance cemented. That defiant vocal texture echoes in modern artists like Amy Winehouse. Lead singer Peggy Santilia carries the scar of the session's intensity. The physical exhaustion of shouting to prove they were not background singers, but the primary force of the record.